chemical reactions, one of the most important concepts that runs through everything that we are going to do in chemistry, right? So basically, why are we here doing chemistry? We want to understand how the chemical component of things and how they react with one another. So understanding chemical reactions is really, really very important, and it just forms the basis of most of the stuff, right? That's what we want to understand. Things react around us, things happen around us, and then there are things happening here and there. So the process that comes with producing new products from other things combining or reacting is what we are really interested in, what we are doing dealing coming with chemistry. So let's look at what chemical reactions are. So you see, sometimes you say some people have some reactions on their body. Some people, when they are done bathing, right, you see their body start itching them and all that. Or sometimes when you combine, you see people combining something and something, right, and they begin to get some stuff, to get some medicine, all the medicine that we have around, right? When you have the manual, right, you'll be able to read the prescription and everything, what is made up of, these different things that come together, and they have a name for them. They all come together to form something, and we are able to take it as medicine, right, to cure various stuff. So when we take this medicine in, when we take them inside, what happens to them? Right, they go and attack those bodies and all that, and also antibodies, and be able to fight most of the diseases for us. So we know the right chemical or the right drug to take in order to combat a particular anomaly in our body, right? So when these things are taken into our body, they go and attack. That's the term that we use. Actually, they are just reacting. There's going to be a reaction. So they fight through reactions with these chemicals in order to distort what they are, in order to transform them from one product to another. So what is basically chemical reaction? So chemical reaction is a process that involves the rearrangement of atoms or molecules or compounds to form new products, right? So when molecules or compounds come together, they form new products, and then these products, we call them products, not reactants. So the definition here, this is not supposed to be reactant, is supposed to be, we call them products, right? Yeah. But then the things that are combining to form the new product is what we call the reactants as well. So two things combine, two or more things combine to or there are things that combine or deform in order to form new products. So the process of the combination or a product changing into a new thing is what we call the chemical reaction. Basically, that's it. So a process that involves a rearrangement of atoms or compounds, right? There are some atoms that come together, there are some compounds that come together, some molecules that come together, and that goes some process, right? At the end of the day, they form a new thing. Okay, so in the previous session, when we were doing the playlist under IUPAC nomenclature and all the introductory videos so far, we were able to combine some compounds like magnesium and chlorine to form magnesium chloride and all that, right? We were doing combination at that moment. So bring magnesium here and bring chlorine here. They come and they form magnesium chloride. That thing of combining two or more things, or one thing decomposing into another thing, right? So as far as we have something that changes into something new chemically, that's what we call chemical reactions. I want us to differ that from what it is to be physical reactions. Because, for example, liquid water changing into ice, the block form of water, that's a physical reaction. So all those change of state and things that we look at so far, they are all physical reactions, right? So at the chemical level, here we are saying rearrangement of the atoms or compounds. So they rearrange in such a way that they form a different substance altogether. So chemically, physically, we can name it, this is liquid water, this is solid water called the ice. But then when we are doing chemical reaction, really happens is that what we have originally, the new product has a different name. It doesn't have the same name chemically as the other one, right? For example, liquid water, the chemical form name is H2O. There's when the ice physically we can call it the ice or ice block, but then chemically it's still H2O. So chemically at the atomic level, the same combination of atoms. So the atoms have not recombined in any way. And when it comes to chemical composition, chemical reactions, right? The previous products, the reactant that we had originally, that transformed into a new thing, they have different name or different community. That's what chemical reaction is concerned about. So basically, we have reactants here, changing into something called product. Example. So I have substance A plus substance B giving me substance C plus D, or you can give me E. It doesn't depend on, you can only have A here. A alone can give you C plus D plus F plus whatever, right? So chemical reaction, once we have an original an original substance, chemical substance, that transforming into a new thing such that there has been rearrangement, and then the new substance is not chemically the same as the previous one. That's what chemical reaction is all about, right? Yeah. So now let's look at, based on what happens in a particular reaction. Based on what happens in a particular reaction, you have types of reaction based on that. Again, based on what happens in a chemical reaction, you have types of reaction based on that. So we have synthesis reaction. So in the synthesis reaction, what happens is that the name synthesis means that formation. We are basically forming something, or we are basically producing something new. So in synthesis reaction, right, things are coming together to form a new thing. For example, we have H2, hydrogen gas coming together with oxygen to form H2O, to form water. Yeah. So basically, I don't want to put some amount here, an amount here, because we are not done doing balancing of reaction. But currently, I can put half of this here. I can put, let's put half here. So basically, if you know about chemical balancing already, that's fine. If you don't know, don't worry about it. But the most important thing you are concerned over here right now is that there is hydrogen, right, mixing with oxygen to form water. That's H2O. So there is synthesis. There is a formation of something. So synthesis reaction is this. There's basically something like this. So two things coming together to form a very new product. That's called a synthesis reaction. We also have something called decomposition reaction. Decomposition reaction is where, for example, you have water, right? Water itself, and then you decompose it into these various components like water and then oxygen. Remember, whatever you have after the arrow, is called the product. Whatever you have before the arrow is called the reactant. We call the reactant. So before and after. So the arrow is pointing this way. So meaning that the arrow is telling you that from this to this, from this to this. So where we are from, those things are called the reactants, and where we are going to is called the product. So in this case, these are the products. But in the first case, these are the H2O is the product. But in this case, H2O is a reactant. Basically, note that. So after the let the arrow guide you to what they want to talk about, basically, or the direction, right? Okay. So in this case, decomposition, the name says it, we decompose the thing. You have water decompose into H2 and O2, right? This is what's happened to this is a decomposition reaction. Now, replacement reaction, this is where we have some reactions in which so one substance replaces the other. So for example, you can have zinc, and then we are going to meet these compounds later, and then you see that basically the copper is replacing the zinc is replacing the copper. So it's what happened here is that there's the replacement. So you see the zinc was alone, and then combined with CuSO4. By the end of the day, the zinc has taken the SO4 from the Cu, and then just replace it, and then Cu is now alone. This is what we call replacement reaction. So that's what I'm saying, that based on what happens in the reaction. So here we have neutralization reaction, where it's a reaction between an acid, so an acid and a base, right? You bring an acid and a base together to form water and salt. We have water and salt, right? That's what we have in neutralization reaction. We'll go deeper into that, right? And we have combustion reaction. Combustion reaction is where we have some organic chemistry, like an organic compound, like the alkene or alkenes, right? We'll talk about them, like we have CH4, they're like methane, right? And then you combust. When you say combustion, we are basically adding oxygen to the substance. So something that's mixing with oxygen, in that particular thing, we are doing combustion or burning. Burning, basically, we are just adding oxygen to the thing. So I can also have something like so you can say hydrogen and oxygen, right? Someone say synthesis, isn't also combustion? But basically, we are concerned with CuSO4 plus O2. This is going to also form some things, right? It's going to form water, it's going to form carbon dioxide, it's going to form whatever we want to have, right? Yes. And then we also have redox reaction. Redox reaction is also another concept that we'll be looking at deeply. And right now, we are just introducing you to the concept of chemical reactions in general. So Chemical reaction basically is just rearrangement of atoms so that previous products form a new product, and the previous products are called reactants, and the new products are called products, like that. And then the types of reaction, you have synthesis reaction, synthesis, where we are formation of something, synthesis, that's the meaning of synthesis. So I hope you've heard of photosynthesis before. So using light to produce something, to prepare something. So something like that. Decomposition reaction, this is where we have the thing and you decompose it into its various components, like H2O placing into H2 and O2. And then replacement reaction, this is where we see the copper and zinc doing that, showing us that replacement reactions, right? Neutralization reaction, combustion reaction. Combustion basically you're adding oxygen to something, we are just burning something, we're just doing all that, right? Yeah. So these are all about the basic chemical reactions. Now, in the next session, let's look at the common reactions and their products. There are some common reactions that happen. When you look at a particular reaction, you need to know, okay, this particular reaction is supposed to give me this kind of product, right? There are some that are common. There are some that you may not be known, you may not know, they will give it to you, but others, at least every chemistry student knows them, right? In the next session, we'll look at those common reactions and the product we are expecting from those reactions, right? So that we get that, then we'll move forward from there. Let's see what happens in the next session. I hope that you subscribe and stay with us so that we can continue to solidify our concept in chemistry very well. See you in the next session.